Morning, students. What are the topics we have covered last class? Absolute entropy, verification of third law of thermodynamics, and also we have done some numerical problems. Then I told we have covered one part of the unit 1, that is Closius-Clapeyron equation, how it is obtained, its application, then Nernst heat theorem. From Nernst heat theorem, how we derived or how they have come to third law of thermodynamics, statement of third law of thermodynamics, then mathematical explanation for that. Then what is residual entropy, then what is absolute entropy, how we can calculate absolute entropy for solid, liquid and gas, then how the third law can be verified experimentally, then related numerical problems, both Closius-Clapeyron and third law we have done. Now we'll go to next topic. Next topic is partial molar properties, and I'll try to finish today partial molar properties, chemical potential and Gibbs-Duhem equation. Chemical potential, Gibbs-Duhem equation and all derivations is there. So PPT I'll tell till chemical potential, then we will go back to derivation process. Okay. Now before going to chemical potential, we'll go the initial classes. We have learned that there are two types of properties. Do you remember? Okay, tell me what were the two properties. Yes, extensive property and intensive properties. What was extensive property? A property that depend on the quantity of the matter in a system. Example, mass, volume, height, enthalpy. Then a property which do not depend on the quantity of the matter in the system is intensive property. Temperature, pressure, density, refractive index, etc. are examples. Now when we take the extensive property, we have learned lot of concepts from first and second laws. What were the concepts? Internal energy concept, enthalpy, entropy, free energy, work function. All these concepts or all these properties are extensive property. Why they are extensive property? Because their value depends on the mass, or their value changes with change in mass. So during their derivation, we have put an assumption that the system under consideration was a closed system, and we did the one. Why we did like that? Because we want the composition part to be constant. We varied temperature and pressure and did the things. So what is closed system and open system? That also initial class you remember we have seen that systems are of three different types: open system, closed system and isolated system. What is an open system? Is it is open to the nature, so that system and surrounding can exchange both energy and matter. That is what is open system. Whereas closed system is a system where only energy can be exchanged with the surrounding, matter cannot be exchanged. So till now we have considered a closed system only, where we took that energy can be exchanged and matter is kept constant. Now when we consider about partial molar quantities, we have to consider open systems. So what is an open system? A system which can exchange both matter and energy with the surrounding. Okay. Now we will go for partial molar properties. Consider an open system consisting of I component. I component means there are I number of components, n1, n2, n3, n4 till I components is there, or it is a mixture, large mixture. Then let T and B be the temperature and pressure respectively, and N1, N2, N3 up to Ni be the respective number of moles of the constituent 1, 2, 3, etc. up to I. Okay. Now then an extensive property X it must be a function of temperature, pressure, number of moles of various component. Till now we have taken x is a function of T and P. Now we are taking as the number of moles of various component. So x we can write it as function f of temperature, pressure, N1, N2, N3, then N4, like that it goes till Ni. It will be the function of all these components number of moles. Then total number of moles N we can take it as sum of all the number of moles N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus etc. plus Ni. Now we will take for a small change in temperature, pressure and number of moles of the component. The change in property dx will be, what we have to do, we should go for partial differentiation. So partial differentiation, when you do, what we will do, we will differentiate one property with respect to other, keeping all others constant. So here when we take dx is equal to dou x by dou t, first we will differentiate with temperature. During that differentiation, pressure N1, N2, N3 up to Ni will be constant into dt plus dou x by dou p. Then temperature N1, N2, N3 and Ni are constant into dp plus dou x by dou N1. That is there the constants are temperature, pressure, number of moles of component 2, number of moles of component 3 up to number of moles of Ni into dN1 plus dou x by dou N2, where the constants are T, P, N1, N3, N4, Ni into dN2 plus it will come N3 will come, N4 will come, we put etc. and last one dou x by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure N1, N2 up to Ni minus 1. So all these are constant, only it is varied with respect to Ni into dNi. Okay, this we have done with simple two system. Now two function system. Now it is for large number. Now the quantity, where what the quantity dou x by dou t, dou x by dou p and all you are familiar. The other term dou x by dou n1 tp n2 n3 ni into dn1 and dou x by dou n2 constant tp n1 n2 n3 etc. and dou x by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure N1, N2 etc. are known as partial molar properties of component 1, 2 and I. So you just remember dou x by dou Ni at constant values is what is known as partial molar properties, and that is normally denoted by xi bar for ith component. So if we take ith component in a system, if we are taking that in terms of internal energy, it is partial molar internal energy. Enthalpy, it is partial molar enthalpy, and volume means partial molar volume. So corresponding equations become dou E by dou Ni, Tp N1, N2. That things are constant. So we can also write as Ei bar. Partial molar enthalpy dou H by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure N1, N2 up to Ni minus 1. That we can write it as Hi bar. Partial molar volume is dou V by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure N1, N2 etc. and that we can represent by Vi bar. Now partial molar properties, when we take that one and substitute that xi bar, the expression will become dou x by dou t at constant pressure N1, N2, N3 up to Ni into dt plus dou x by dou p at constant t N1, N2, N3 up to Ni into dp plus we will substitute the x1 bar. So okay, so x1 bar dn1 plus x2 bar dn2 plus etc. dxi bar dni bar. Okay, Now at constant temperature and pressure, what happened? dP and dt will become 0. So the first two terms will become 0. So we can write dx is equal to x1 bar dn1 plus x2 bar dn2 plus etc. xi bar dni. The partial molar property, so we can define as, is the change in the property of the system at constant temperature and pressure when 1 mole of any constituent is added to such a large quantity of the system that the added mole will not affect the composition of the system. That is what is partial molar property. Now chemical potential or partial molar free energy. The most important partial molar property in physical chemistry is partial molar free energy. That is only known as chemical potential, and it is represented by Gi bar, or simply we will use to represent mu I. So Gi bar is equal to mu I is equal to dou G by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure N1 N2 up to Ni minus 1. So how we can define it? The partial molar free energy of or chemical potential of a given substance is the change in free energy of the system at constant temperature and pressure when 1 mole of any constituent is added to such a large quantity of the system that the added mole will not affect the composition of the system. Will not affect the composition. Composition is mixing. You have to write composition of the system. That is, if you have a large amount, 100 liters of something, a mixture of some compound, and you are adding 1 mole of component 1. So what happened? There will be some small change in the free energy that we are calculating, but as a whole the composition change will remain as such. You cannot find it. So that is what is partial molar free energy or chemical potential. Partial means components contribution alone. If you take first component, the contribution of the first one. Change free energy change വരുമ്പോൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് കമ്പോണൻറ്റിന് എന്ന കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ വരും, സെക്കൻഡ് കമ്പോണൻറ്റിന് എന്ന കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ വരും, തേർഡ് കമ്പോണൻറ്റിന് എന്ന കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ വരും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഉങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഫുള്ളായിട്ട് യു ആർ കളക്ടിങ് മണി to give it to some organization for helping poor. So that time it's not compulsory that you should put equal amount. Someone is putting 100, somebody may be putting 10 rupees. So partial contribution or contribution of each person, if you take, what amount you have put only will come. As a whole you will have a change. So adu madiri ഓരോരുത്തരുടെ contribution, that അതേ മാതിരി താൻ ഇങ്ങ വന്ന് each component ന്റെ contribution to change in free energy is what is partial molar free energy. And this, when we are applying, it is applied to an open system. It's not a closed system. Okay, so that is all. Thank you. Then I will come with the other video. Okay.